Hello, everybody, and welcome to assignment number 13 in Speak. You know the deal, everybody. Make sure you're answering all the questions completely, doing your vocab, your sentences, and you're giving me a good paragraph, open-ended essay, answering any one of the open-ended essay questions, giving details from either your life or the book, or even better, both of them together. You know what we're supposed to be doing here while we're reading. We are still investigating and trying to find out exactly what it was that happened to Melinda. And we are hoping beyond hope that she can get some help, because right now, not speaking about her trauma, about what happened to her, is actually driving her crazy. It's breaking her apart from the inside out. She actually has said that or has thought that. So it's time for her she needs to talk to somebody about this, specifically somebody she can trust. And let's hope that happens sooner rather than later. I'm worried about Melinda. So let's go. Our 4 parts that we are going to be reading today in assignment number 13 are stunted, lunch, doom, conjugate this, and cutting out hearts. So let's begin. Stunted. Mr. Freeman has found a way around the authorities again. He painted the names of all of the students on one wall of the classroom, then made a column for each week left of school. Each week, he evaluates our progress and makes a note on the wall. He calls it a necessary compromise. Now, if you remember why Mr. Freeman is doing this, it's because they're not giving him any supplies. Like, they're not giving him a grade book to do his grades. They're not giving him any paper. So he's fighting back by, in the second marking period, he gave everybody A's because he didn't have anywhere to write their grades down. And now he's choosing to do their grades on the board, on the wall. He can't do that, actually. Legally, you cannot put somebody's grades up for everybody else to see them. I'm just saying. Next to my name, he's painted a question mark. The tree is frozen. A kindergartner could carve a better tree. I've stopped counting the linoleum blocks I've ruined. Mr. Freeman has reserved the rest of them for me. Good thing, too. I am dying to try a different subject, something easy like designing an entire city or copying the Mona Lisa, but he won't budge. He suggested I try a different medium, so I used purple finger paints. The paint cooled my hands, but it did nothing for my trees. On a shelf, I find a book of landscapes filled with illustrations of every stinking tree that grows. Sycamore, linden, aspen, willow, fir, tulip, poplar, chestnut, elm, spruce, pine. Their bark, flowers, limbs, needles, nuts. I feel like a regular forester, but I can't do what I'm supposed to. The last time Mr. Freeman had anything good to say to me was when I made that stupid turkey bone thing. Mr. Freeman is having his own problems. He mostly sits on his stool and stares at a new canvas. It is painted one color, so blue it's almost black. No light comes out of it or goes in. No shadows without light. Ivy asks him what it is. Mr. Freeman snaps out of his funk and looks at her like he just realized the room was full of students. Mr. Freeman, it is Venice at night, the color of an accountant's soul, a love rejected. I grew mold on an orange this color when I lived in Boston. It's the blood of imbeciles, confusion, tenure, the inside of a lock, the taste of iron, despair, a city with the streetlights shut out, smoker's lung, the hair of a small girl who grows up hopeless, the heart of a school board director. All right, so clearly Mr. Freeman is having his own issues. Now, they are nowhere near the same or as bad as Melinda's. But what is bothering Mr. Freeman? I think he's having a problem with being a teacher, with being held back the way teachers are, that he's forced to do it the way he's told to, that he's not given the proper supplies, that he's not given the proper help. And he's realizing now that it doesn't work for him. It's driving him crazy. He's warming up for a full-fledged rant when the bell rings. Some teachers rumor whisper he's having a breakdown. I think he's the sanest person I know. Now, that's interesting that she would say that other people are rumoring that he's having, talking about gossiping and talking behind his back that he's having a breakdown because of all these things. She says he's the sanest person I know. Why? Because she understands what he's going through. She recognizes how he is being treated by everybody else and that he needs to be treated better. That's why she thinks he's sane. Now, would she call herself sane? The answer is probably not. I think she realizes herself that she's actually going kind of crazy with this right now, and she doesn't know how to fix it. Actually, she knows that she has to speak about it. She doesn't know how to do it or who to. Interesting. Lunch doom. Nothing good ever happens at lunch. The cafeteria is a giant sound stage. The cafeteria is a giant sound stage where they film daily segments of teenage humiliation rituals, and it smells gross. I sit with Heather as usual, but we are off by ourselves in a corner by the courtyard, not near the Marthas. Heather sits so her back is to the rest of the cafeteria. She can watch the wind shift, the drifts of snow trapped in the courtyard behind me. I can feel the wind seep through the glass and penetrate my shirt. I am not listening too closely as Heather hems her way to what is on her mind. The noise of 400 mouths moving, consuming, pulls me away from her. The background pulsing of the dishwashers, the squeal of announcements that no one hears. It is a vespiary, the horned haven. I am a small ant crouched by the entrance with the winter wind at my back. I smother my green beans with mashed potatoes. Heather nibbles through her jicama and whole grain roll and blows me off while she eats her baby carrots. Heather, this is really awkward. I mean, how do you say something like this? No matter what. No, I don't want to say that. I mean, we kind of paired up at the beginning of the year when I was new and didn't know anyone, and that was really, really sweet of you. But I think it's time for both of us to admit that we just are very different. All right, this is interesting. Heather is actually dumping Melinda as her friend, dropping her as her friend. She's saying, I don't want to be your friend anymore. And she actually did just say, it was nice of you to be nice to me. Nobody else was nice to me and you were, but now I've got to drop you. And why is she dropping her, by the way? Is it because they're so different? Possibly. But remember, what is Heather's main goal in this high school and in life? Her main goal is to be popular, to be liked by everybody. I think Heather has realized that she can never be popular as long as she is friends with Melinda, because everybody hates her for calling the police that night at the party. Now, is it the right thing to do? Absolutely not. These people were rude to her when she needed a friend. The only person who was nice to her was Melinda. But we're finding out about Heather. The fact that she drops Melinda, that she disses her like this, tells us that Heather's not really a good person. She studies her no-fat yogurt. I try to think of something bitchy, something wicked and cruel. I can't. Me. You mean we're not friends anymore? Now, interesting, notice she speaks. Why? Because she's losing her one friend now. And she's even said it before. Going through high school with no friends is unbelievably awful. At least she has that one. She doesn't really like her that much, but it's somebody she can talk to or at least be with. Heather smiling with her mouth, but not her eyes. We were never really, really friends, were we? I mean, it's not like I ever slept over at your house or anything. We like to do different things. I have my modeling and I like to shop. Me. I like to shop. Heather, you don't like anything. You're the most depressed person I've ever met. And excuse me for saying this, but you're no fun to be around. And I think you need professional help. All right, stop. Now, what she said was rude, but in a way, it was something that it's correct. Now, she should have told her this in a different way as a friend. Hey, listen, I'm worried about you. Why are you always so depressed? What's wrong? Has she ever asked her, for crying out loud? I don't think so. I think you need professional help. What she's referring to is she needs like a therapist, a psychologist. And she's right. Melinda does. But she's not saying it to her in a nice way now. She's saying it to her in a rude way. Up until this very instant, I'd never really seriously thought of Heather as my one true friend in the world. But now I'm desperate to be her pal, her buddy, to giggle with her, to gossip with her. I want her to paint my toenails. Me. I was the only person who talked to you on the first day of school, and now you're blowing me off because I'm a little depressed? Isn't that what friends are for, to help each other out in bad times? Heather, I knew you would take this the wrong way. You're just so weird sometimes. Now, excuse me, what was she supposed to say? Gee, thanks? Good luck? Have a good life? I mean, how was she supposed to react to this? And by the way, is it weird to say, can't we still be friends? Is there anything wrong with me being depressed? I squint at the wall of hearts on the other side of the room. Lovers can spend $5 to get a red or pink heart. I'm sorry, I just lost my spot. Sorry. Hold on a second. I pressed the wrong button. It should be right down here. Hold on. There it is right there. Aha. Lovers can spend $5 to get a red or pink heart with their initials on it mounted on the wall for Valentine's Day. It looks so out of place, those red splotches on blue. The jocks, the student athletes, sit in front of the hearts to judge the new romances. Poor Heather. There are no Hallmark cards for breaking up with friends. I know what she's thinking. She has a choice. She can hang out with me and get the reputation of being a creepy weirdo who won't show up with a gun someday, or she can be a Martha, one of the girls who gets good grades, does nice things, and skis well. Which would I choose? Heather, when you get through this life sucks phase, I'm sure lots of people will want to be your friend. But you just can't cut classes or not show up to school. What's next? Hanging out with the dopers? Me. Is this the part where you try to be nice to me? Heather, you have a reputation? Me. For what? Heather, look, you can't eat lunch with me anymore. I'm sorry. Oh, and don't eat those potato chips. They'll make you break out. She nearly wraps her trash into a wax paper ball. And, I'm sorry, she neatly wraps her trash into a wax paper ball and deposits it in the garbage can. Then she walks to the Martha table. Her friends scooch down to make room for her. They swallow her whole, and she never looks back at me. Not once. Now I'm wondering, ladies and gentlemen, do you think the Marthas actually made her drop Melinda as a friend? Do you think they said it's either her or us? Based upon those girls, it wouldn't surprise me. And how would you ever deal with that? If somebody ever said, if you want to be friends with us, then you've got to drop your friend over there. I mean, to you is what I would say in about a minute. But Heather doesn't have that kind of strength. I don't think she's that nice. But that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? It's your opinion. You can have your own opinion about Heather, clearly. Conjugate this. I cut class. You cut class. He, she, it cuts class. We cut class. They cut class. We all cut class. I cannot say this in Spanish because I did not go to Spanish today. Gracias a Dios. Hasta luego. I think that says thank you, God. See you later. Cutting out hearts. When we get off the bus on Valentine's Day, a girl with white blonde hair bursts into tears. I love you, Angela. It's spray painted into the snowbank along the parking lot. I don't know if Angela is crying because she is happy or because her heart's desire can't spell. Her honey is waiting with a red rose. They kiss right there in front of everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. It's caught me by surprise. Valentine's Day was a big, hairy deal in elementary school because you had to give cards to everyone in your class, even the kid who made you step in dog poop. Then the class mom brought in pink frosted cupcakes, and we traded those little candy hearts that said, hot baby, and be mine. The holiday went underground in middle school. No parties, no shoeboxes with red cutout hearts for your drugstore Valentines. To tell someone you liked them, you had to use layers and layers of friends, as in Janet told me to tell you that Stephen told me that Dougie said Karen was talking to April, and she hinted that Sarah's brother Mark has a friend named Tony who might like you. What are you going to do? It is easier to floss with barbed wire than admit you like someone in middle school. I go with the flow toward my locker. We're all dressed in down jackets and vests, so we collide and roll like bumper cars at the state fair. I notice envelopes taped to some lockers, but don't really think about it until I find one on mine. It says Melinda. It has to be a joke. Someone put it there to make me look stupid. I peer over my left shoulder, then my right, for groups of evil kids pointing at me. All I see are the backs of heads. What if it's real? What if it's from a boy? My heart stops, then stutters and pumps again. No, not Andy. His style is definitely not romantic. Maybe David Petrapis, my lab partner. He watches me when he thinks I can't see him, afraid I'm going to break lab equipment or faint again. Sometimes he smiles at me, an anxious smile, the kind you use on a dog that might bite. All I have to do is open the envelope. I can't stand it. I walk past my locker and go straight to biology. So here's the question. Does she want that card to be a Valentine from David Petrakis? And it's like a yes and a no for her. Yes, because she wants to be normal. She wants somebody to like her. But no, because she doesn't want to have anything to do with boys of any kind because of what happened. And we'll find out more as we go forward. Miss Keene decided it would be cute to review birds and bees in honor of Valentine's Day. Nothing practical, of course. No information about why hormones can make you crazy or why your face only breaks out at the worst time or how to tell if somebody really gave you a Valentine's card on your locker. No, she really teaches us about the birds and the bees. Notes of love and betrayal are passed hand over hand as if the lab tables were lanes on Cupid's highway. Miss Keene draws a picture of an egg with a baby chick inside it. David Petrakis is fighting to stay awake. Does he like me? I make him nervous. He thinks I'm going to ruin his grade. But maybe I'm growing on him. Do I want him to like me? I chew my thumbnail. No, I just want anyone to like me. I want a note with a heart on it. I pull the edge of my thumbnail back too far and it bleeds. Did you hear that? She pulls her nail so far back it starts to bleed. How hard? Do you know how much pain that is when you crack your nail and you open it up and it bleeds and you rip it like that? She's just doing it. I squeeze my thumb so the blood gathers in a perfect sphere before it collapses and slides toward the palm of my hand. David hands me a tissue. I press it into the cut. The white cells of paper dissolve as the red floods them. It doesn't hurt. Nothing hurts except the small smiles and blushes that flash across the room like tiny sparrows. Stop. Did you hear that? The white cells of paper dissolve as the red floods them. It doesn't hurt. So she says there's no pain from that, which of course it does hurt, but she's talking metaphorically because look at the next sentence. Nothing hurts except the small smiles and blushes that flash across the room like tiny sparrows. So her physical pain doesn't hurt her, but what does hurt her? Seeing the other kids smiling and blushing at each other across the room. In other words, seeing people like each other. And treat each other like they like each other. No one's doing that for her, right? No one even looks at her. And if they do, they give her dirty looks or they push her to the ground or they drop her books or, they talk crap about her and they say bad things to her. I open my notebook and write a note to David. Thanks. I slide the notebook over to him. He swallows hard, his Adam's apple bouncing to the bottom of his neck and back up again. He writes back, you are welcome. Now what? I squeeze the tissue harder on my thumb to concentrate. Miss Keene's baby bird hatches on the board. I draw a picture of Miss Keene as a robin. David smiles. He draws a branch under her feet and slides the notebook back to me. I try to connect the branch to a tree. It looks pretty good, better than anything I've drawn so far in art. The bell rings and David's hand brushes against mine as he picks up his books. A bolt from my seat. Look at that. So he brushes his hand against her as he picks up his books. Now, did he do it on purpose? Maybe, but probably not. But notice what she does when he physically touches her. She bolts from her seat. She actually runs away. She jumps up and runs away. She goes as fast as she can away from him. I'm afraid to look at him. Look at that. Because he touched her, just brushed her hand, she's afraid to now look at him. What if he thinks I already opened his card and I hate his guts, which is why I didn't say anything. But I can't say anything because the card could be a joke or from some other silent watcher who blends in with the blur of lockers and doors. My locker. The card is still there, a white patch of hope with my name on it. I tear it off and open it. Something falls to my feet. The card has a picture of two cutesy teddy bears sharing a pot of honey. I open it. Thanks for understanding. You're the sweetest. It is signed with a purple pen. Good luck, Heather. Heather actually thanked her for letting her not be her friend anymore. Thanks for letting me diss you. Oh my gosh. And it's even worse. Listen, I bend down to find what dropped from the card. It was the friendship necklace I had given Heather in a fit of insanity around Christmas. She gives her back her friendship necklace. She didn't have to do that. She could have just thrown it away. But giving it back is like saying, not only do I not want to be your friend, but I was never your friend, and we never will be friends. No friends for us. Stupid, stupid, stupid. How stupid could I be? I hear a cracking inside me. My ribs are collapsing in on my lungs, which is why I can't breathe. So look at this. She loses her ability to breathe now. Remember, we know she can't speak very well because she's so traumatized. But now she has lost everything. She has no friends, nothing. She is alone, completely alone in this world. Her parents don't even care about her. Oh my God, she's so alone, and watch what it does. I stumble down the hall, down another hall, down another hall, till I find my very own door and slip inside and throw the lock, not even bothering to turn on the lights, just falling a mile downhill to the bottom of my brown chair, where I can sink my teeth into the soft white skin of my wrist and cry like the baby I am. So she flees and she runs to her janitor's closet where she can hide alone. And she screams. Well, does she? Let me see that. Just falling a mother. No, she doesn't scream. She cries. I'm sorry. I rock, thumping my head against the cinder block wall. Look at that. She's rocking back and forth, and she's actually banging her head. Not badly, but it's never good to bang your head against a cinder block wall. That's like stones. A half-forgotten holiday has unveiled every knife that sticks inside me, every cut. No Rachel, no Heather, not even a silly, geeky boy who would like the inside girl I think I am. Oh, Melinda, this is bad. Is anybody going to help her? Anybody going to try to help her? I mean, what are the possible outcomes of this for Melinda if she doesn't talk to somebody? Insanity is one, and the other one that I'm most worried about is a possible attempt at suicide. She needs to speak with somebody. She needs to speak to somebody needs to speak to her. Somebody needs to care about her. OMG. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, as you can see, I get angry with this book. This book gets me mad. Let's hope. I mean, I know the end of this book, but I'm not going to tell you. But let's hope that Melinda gets fixed by the end of this book, that somebody comes and tries to help her. Let's wait and see. We still got about 11 assignments left. Or what is this? This is a 13. So we have 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We have 9 assignments left. So we will see what happens in those 9 assignments. Everybody, have a great day. Thank you very much.